Good morning, morning, Manna people. Me, Dear Catherine, here with our good stuff to get our day going, to get this Friday going. We are in the New Testament, finally, today, in James 1:12 through 18. So let's just get to the text in the NRSV translation. Blessed is anyone who endures temptation. Such a one has stood the test and will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. No one, when tempted, should say, I am being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, and he himself tempts no one. But one is tempted by one's own desire, being lured and enticed by it. Then, when the desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And that sin, when it is fully grown, gives birth to death. Do not be deceived, my beloved. Every generous act of giving, with every perfect gift, is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. In fulfillment of his own purpose, he gave us birth by the word of truth, so that we would become a kind of first fruits of his creatures. God created us with free will, with our own agency to decide how we use our free will, for good or for ill. So here is the hard lesson I hear today in James this morning. If we aren't happy, maybe we should take a good hard look in the mirror and ask, how am I perhaps contributing to my own unhappiness? Too often, if we're honest with ourselves, like I said yesterday, we got to be honest with ourselves and God and one another. Honesty is just a good policy. Anyways, if we're honest with ourselves right now in relation to the scripture from James 1, too often we don't take a good hard look at ourselves and see how we might be contributing to our own unhappiness. Many of us blame God. I sometimes find myself blaming God for getting myself into whatever kind of pickle I'm in as a result of my own decision making. That is why cultivating habits, surrounding ourselves with a healthy community of faith, and learning to forgive others and ourselves too, are all so important and contribute to our happiness. We get into trouble that leads to unhappiness when we try to do it all by ourselves, to go it alone, to be a lone ranger Christian, if you will. So this Friday, our manna is short. It's a short lesson, but it's not a sweet or easily digested lesson. It's never easy to own our less good or our bad and shameful, regretful decisions that have led to unhappiness for ourselves and others. But there is good stuff here this morning too. God is gracious. God is generous. God is steadfast of his love for all of us. And God is quick to forgive and help us to begin again, leading us back to happiness. So name where your decisions have led you away from happiness, and then allow God to lead you back by turning once again to your habits of faith, your community of faith, and your lessons of faith, like letting go and moving on. I'll see you tomorrow on Saturday for our last manna on this happiness sermon series, September. We'll see you tomorrow.